Are we all tonight on Weekend Workshop? Here we are with, it's chilly. Who's cold? I've been cold today. It was a chilly start to the morning. We've got a few of you on there. We've got Ruth, we've got Zena and Joanne, Wendy, Carol, Di, Gail, Sandra, and Sue. How are you all tonight? We've got lots more on there that haven't said hello. Hey, Mark, how are we? I can watch you up there now. So, Weekend Workshop. Did we all, hi Julie, did we all enjoy Treasure Hunt Wednesday? Was I sneaky with the names on it on Treasure Hunt Wednesday? You all had a ball going through there and finding them. There are still 4 $10 vouchers. Hi Nancy. Hi Julie. I loved it. Good. Yeah, the quiz. Did you enjoy the quiz? How cool was that? So yeah, there's still 4 voucher codes hidden within the descriptions of 4 different things. So I'm going to leave them there until someone finds them. So they are still hidden throughout the website from last week's Treasure Hunt Wednesday. So what are we going to do tonight? Don't forget the 3 S's. We have to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these ones. Hi Dizzy. And don't forget to share. Share any Facebook or Instagram posts that I do, and also stalk me. So stalk me on Instagram and Facebook. And I can see a lot of you are actually getting on. Hi Lynette, how are you? I can see that a lot of you are getting onto eCraft as well, which is wonderful. As you can see, we've now got CraftTube that's up and running. So hence, of course, my videos go on there. And thanks, Carol. I loved your comment. Carol thought I was really young. I said, well, do I look old now? But yeah, that is a really old video that we thought we'd put up just so you can see that I've been doing this for a little while. Had a bit of a break in the middle of them all, and I'm back again. So yeah, CraftTube will have a lot more coming up on there. Of course, we're still new, but there's lots of people joining in. We're getting it really ramped up for the event that's on the 15th of July. So Jake from ProVents and myself. Oh no, Carol, I thought it was funny. Don't say sorry. I thought it was really funny. Yeah, so Jake from ProVents and myself, we are ready and ramped. Norella's hitting the road tomorrow morning. I'm heading down to see Jake again for a few days, and live Wednesday, I'm going to have another special guest. Be prepared. It is a lovely lady. All right, so somebody different that you haven't seen, and I'll have them on my Trivia Night Wednesday. You'll still have, oh, sorry, Trivia Night. Gosh, we all love trivia. Oh, I'm not going to Melbourne, Julie. I don't have to get that far. Jake actually has got out of Melbourne before it all hit, so I'm meeting him halfway. So yeah, no, Mark, Jake's normally in Melbourne, but he's actually up with his parents at the moment, so I'm going to see them there. 9 hours away, somewhere down in New South Wales. I'll just put in the GPS and go there. That's me and my driving, about 9 hours from here. So I will be careful. Yep. Hi, Karen. How are you? Oh, good. I'm glad you're able to get in here. So let's get into tonight, because I may get some sewing done for you tonight. I'm going to show you. So tonight I'm going to do the log cabin. So I know on the show trivia we had lots of blocks and you were all interested on how to make them. So I thought I'd throw this one together today, and because it is my favorite block. I love log cabins. And I'm going to show you how to sort of decipher them a little bit and how to put them together. So this was the actual one I showed you on Wednesday, right? Now, normally I'm going to say, hi Anna, what's for tonight? We have got Weekend Workshop, and I'm going to show you about log cabins. All right, so what we've got here is just your log cabin block. Oh, they are, Dizzy? Yep, definitely. And there's so much you can do with them. I'm going to show you quite a few different variations. Be prepared, there's a bit of sewing. All right, so what I use, and of course I use 2.5 inch strips or 1.5 inch strips. Love the 1.5 inch strips of log cabin because they make them nice and tiny-ish in a way, but they're really cool. And you've got your 2.5 inches as well. I'm going to sit them up here out of the way. All right. So when you, it depends on how you want to put these together. Now I'm going to show you in a minute how I do them, where I cut the pieces exactly to the sizes I want, because it gives me more of a squarer block in the end. But there is another way of doing it that I'm not fussed on, but it is a way of doing it and you might like it better, but that's okay. All right. So what I do normally is I'll figure out what size I'm going to have into my middle block. Of course, it's going to be, I've got a couple of 2.5 inch square. Okay. So I'm going to do it as a 2.5 inch square. So when we do this, this is actually a printed one where it's got the 2.5 by the look of it and a 1.5. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is 2.5 inch strips on the way out in this one. So with this 2.5, hi Therese, how are you? What we need to do is just add another block on the side of it. with 2.5. I've cut them all as 2.5 inch strips, and this pattern is on 1.5, but you'll get the idea. All right, and what I'm going to do is grow it out as I go. Get rid of the pen. Let's see if this works. All right, put him over there. Let me get the light off on the machine because I know that doesn't work real well with you guys. Hold on to your drinks. Oh, look, there we go. That's not too bad. Can you guys see that okay? All right, so what I'm going to do, I know why it's stopping it from going down further. Hang on, let me go up. Just go up here. Just bear with me. I thought I had this organised, and then I can push this handle back further and go down. Oh, that's a bit better. There we go. How's that, guys? Is that good? All right, you can see what's happening now. Let me move the machine a bit. Yep, bit of a jiggle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Now, I've cut all my pieces here. That's good. That's better? Cool. Okay, so I've cut all my pieces, so I've got the pieces in order as to how I'm going to add them on. All right? I've also got the phone here where I can see your comments, so good. I hope you held your drinks while you went. All right, let's get a 2.5 inch square. All right, and I'm going to grab my next piece that's going to be one side of the log cabin, and I'm going to put that beside it. I'm working in the dark here, but that's okay. All right, we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam. All right, now I just finger press these open. If you want, you can have a an iron beside you, but I just basically finger press them open. All right, then I'm going to grab, now obviously this here, 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch with a 1/4 inch seam in the middle, brings me back to 4.5 inches. Because 2.5, 2.5 is 5, 2/4 inches is 1/2 inch, so I've come back to 4.5 inches. Sounds good? Right, so that means that that has to match that 4.5 inch piece that I've done. So I'm going to put him on, grab that thread so it doesn't get chewed up in there. All right, here we go. And then we're just going to finger press that open again. Now, when you're doing a log cabin, you start in here. I went here, here. So we're going to work around. Okay, so we're going to build it around. So we're going to go across here. So obviously this is another 2.5 inch. So the next colour that I want on this side of the log cabin, got some scraps of the dots. Here's a 4.5 inch one here. So that should fit with a 4.5 inch in there. And off we go again. All right, still with our 1/4 inch seam. And we finger press that one open. So now I've done here, here, we're going to go across here. Okay, so this is now 3. So we've got, excuse me, we've got 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch, and 2.5 inch. So 5, 7.5. We've got, what type of machine are you using? It hums. It's actually an industrial machine. On that one I've got Karen. It's just a straight stitch industrial machine. Hi Anne-Marie, how are you? So we've got 3 2.5s together, which will give me the 6.5 inch once I take away the seams. So my next piece that's going to be one of the dotty ones is actually cut at 6.5. So I'm going to pop that across here, and that should match for me. It hums, and it's actually got a little sensor here that when I put my hand on it, the foot comes up. So I actually don't have to touch anything. All right, so this will match on here. There's my thread. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to sew that on. Now, the reason I do this, okay, now I'm going to stop here because I want to show you something else with it. So that's now got the 2. So my next piece will go across here. But do you remember, let me just grab my sheets of paper here. Do you remember I showed you on So Trivia the old pineapple quilt? That one, the pineapple one? Okay. So I'm just going to show you what you can do with that while I'm doing this one. So that's why these black ones are sitting here. I'm going to, if you want to, you can actually crease them, fold them over and make a mark. I am going to do the old, that looks good, and eyeball it. Right, so I'm just going to sew across here. Thanks, April. I haven't done the machine for a while. I thought, oh, I'll get into the machine. Rubbish bin on the floor. And then this is what is also snowballing. So what I'm going to do is then just push that out. Okay, so I've just trimmed it off and pushed it out. So I'm going to do that on the 4 corners that I've got already here. Let me grab another black one. Just put them in here. I am using scraps, guys, that I've pulled out of yeah, scraps. And they're a little bit frayy, but that doesn't matter. They still work. So we're just going to snowball in here and in here. 2 more. I could have had these made for you, but I thought I'd show you how to sew them tonight. There we go. And I'm just sewing straight from that, the corner of it to the corner. As I said, then I'm just trimming it off at approximately 1/4 inch. After doing so many, you get used to what size a 1/4 inch is. All right, one more on this one. And we're going to go across here. And these are great to use up for your scraps. If you pop it with a colour in these little pineapple bits, it makes an amazing sort of thing. Now, you can take this to the iron. I am a finger presser, so let's do that. So, what did we do? We went here, 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 right? So we've worked our way around to here. So my next piece will go across here. We're still the same, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. That's okay. So my next piece that I've got cut out ready to go across might be a little bit different because the snowballs are always going to make it a little bit out. All right, but keep them lined up with your log cabin. All right, you won't see the seams in the back, but it will look on there. Let me get that right. Okay. Yeah, that little clicky noise can get annoying. Sorry, guys. Okay. So when I do that, we're going to end up out here. So obviously coming around, I'm still having that teal colour there. So we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 2.5 inches. All right, so 4 2.5s. I did cut them out and the brain's not thinking. We're looking at 8.5 here, okay? So I'm going to put that on here, and I'm going to do an 8.5. Put the 8.5 on with the 1/4 inch seam again, straight down with the little snowball leaping out of it. My pineapple one. All right. So then I flick him out, and see how that's coming in that corner. How cute's that? I'm now working around. I'm now up to a dot. Yes, I'm using scraps. They're all different coloured dots. So I'm going to pop him on there. Now, if you want to, you can have them pre-cut out. I am like a production worker. I love to have things all cut out, ready to go. All right, and we've got one more to go across here. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 2.5 inch strips, which will give me 12.5. I thought really quick because I remembered that one. All right, now that little snowball is a little bit different out. That's okay because that's where we've just flipped it over. So it's not going to be dead straight. If you want to go iron it, trim it back, you can. That's the perfectionisty sort of side. I look at it and it actually does work. Scraps are great, they sure are, Joanne. Sorry that when you get my kits, you don't get very many scraps out of it when I sell you a kit. All right, so when you do that, I've now got that effect in there with this little bit in here. So then when I go around this next one, before I put that next row on, I would then go on and put another one here. Let me just put one more on, and then I'll show you another technique because I think you guys are all good, and you've got this one now. All right. Fiona, I hope you are watching this. Oh, is Fiona a new one, Julie? Have you invited her? I don't know whether I've seen Fiona through this one. So here we go. I've just sewn that one on again. Pull it out, and you can see how that's going to grow out with it. If you want it, putting it on the middle doesn't overly work, so that's why it's not put on there. All right, and then you just grow it out, and then obviously you'd work your way along. That was the last one we put on here, so we'd be putting, doesn't matter what order you put the corners on. It does look good. She's my friend, but she doesn't have Facebook. Oh, that's okay, honey. She can go straight through YouTube. Get her to go onto YouTube channel, and you can watch it through there. All right, so when I've snowballed those ones, that'll be the next one on, and you'll have those black corners then in there. All right, it is a good way to use them up, Dizzy, definitely. So that's how you do it, and when you do it, when it's made exactly, and Narelle had one, here it is. So this is what I made, one I prepared earlier. I'm just going to throw that on the ground like everything else. I haven't ironed it. But here's just your straight log cabin with the two. I do my log cabins paper piece. Yes, definitely. Karen, you can do that. There's so many different ways. I'll show you a paper piece one I did a long time ago. All right, so there's the log cabin where you've got half one colour and half the other. That was done with them all cut out. Okay, so you can see how it sits flat. I haven't even ironed this. I've just finger pressed this one out. They sit flat. Now, the other way you can do them, and a lot of people do it this way, and I'm going to show you with these. Here's my pile of 1.5 inch strips. I'm very prepared I was. I thought I'd cut another 1.5 inch out. Okay, because it's a 1.5 inch, I'm going to start the middle at 1.5. And yes, I am a professional, so I am going to just do that to give me my 1.5 inch square. All right. No, I'm going to do one on, Joanne, I'm working on a paper piece one at the moment. All right, so there's a 1.5 inch. Now, what a lot of people will do is just grab a strip, okay? They'll grab that little one and just join it on to the strip. All right. Pieced. Oh, okay, pieced. Or do my log cabin's paper pieced? Oh, I just spell it wrong. Okay. Sorry, I didn't even notice. All right, so what we do is people just go like that. Then you grab your scissors, right, and you'll chop it here. Now, you can do it with a rotary cutter if you want. All right, bring it out, flatten it, and then you just sort of put it straight back on and sew it on to your strip again. Right, so you're not actually cutting the pieces directly straight. Now, you would probably do this with a rotary cutter. It's a bit hard with little lack of area here. All right, so then I've got the start of that one. I love 1.5 inch. Let me grab a green. All right, and I'm just literally then, so I've done here, here, here. We're working our way around again. So then we're going to put this piece on. All right, and I'm going to give that a 1/4 inch. Straight down here. Right, and again, because these are 1.5 inch, they're quite easy just to trim with scissors, but you can put it down with a ruler. There's many a ruler out there that can do it as well. I just find it easier if I've got all the pieces cut, ready to go. It works a lot better. So hence I'm going to go on this side now. So I'll just grab that strip and place it on. Now, the reason I don't do them this way very often, it is just a habit, and it's my little, what I call our OCSD, obsessive compulsive sewing disorder, that I have for this one, is it doesn't square them up enough for me. All right, so as I'm working along, this was one I did a little bit earlier. Can you see that's not quite square in there? It's sort of a little bit off. Wouldn't matter if it was going in a scrappy quilt or something like that, but I just find it's a lot neater if you've got the fabric cut to the size you want to fit it to, because then it won't be out of shape. But that's another way you can do it. All right. Oh, hi, Helen from Renmark. How are you? Yeah, we're all safe. Just a little bit chilly, honey. It's really a little bit cold. So that's your 1.5 inch ones. All right. You can also do the pineapple thing in that one as well. Now, am I sewing anything else? I don't think so. I think I'm just showing. All right, so let me just move this a little bit, because it's all about me. I've got to go up with the tripod. There we go. Get the handle past. Oh, that's not working. Didn't go up far enough. There we go. Okay, come back down. Okay. There we go. All right, so there we go. That's why I don't do a lot of sewing yet. I've got to get that other camera working. Ta-da! Here I am. All right, so did you understand with that? So when you're doing it, when you're piecing it on, it seems to just go together a lot. I don't know, it's just like neater. You're not going to run out of fabric because you've got them all cut, ready to go. Where this one you've got, it's a little bit out of shape. But you know what? Give them a go. You might get it where you're great. And you know, if you've got a sewing room set up where your iron's there, your cutting board's there, you can actually move through them, and you'll be able to grab them and like do this way. Use your cutting mat to cut it off and everything. It's not a problem. Just different ways of doing it and what you enjoy doing. All right. So yeah, so that's those ones. Now the other one I was gonna, that's right, the courthouse steps. Now remember courthouse steps? Where are we? So that's the log cabin. Is there a wrong and right side of plain fabric? No, not mine. Not mine at all. I don't have a wrong or right side. Usually homespun doesn't either. Yeah, no wrong or right side on that one. On that mug at all, I don't. No, I'm just gonna say no. It's not on mine. Here's a fabric here. There's one side. There's the other side. There's no difference. All right. a bit chilly. Julie, Fiona and I are friends. Annie did log cabins on Thursday. Beautiful. And did those. Wonderful. Has Fiona come in and said hello? And if Fiona comes in and says hello and then goes on my website, you'll both get a $10 voucher. Is there a simpler formula for when you are cutting out? Example, add X each time. I'm trying to make it simple in my mind and not overcomplicate it. Yeah, I do the same thing when I do it too. Okay, so it will depend on what size you're going to start with. Sure, is you oh, okay, yeah. Don't have a heater still. So it depends on what you start with. So let's just work on let's work on this picture since I've got it. Where's my pen go? Okay. So always remember, it's not really a times X thing, okay? Because it will depend on the size of your strips. Using the scrappies, you're going to have to keep them a little bit formatted, okay? So let's see if I can do this backwards. Should have left the camera down and drawn in front of the camera, but anyway. I'll hold all these behind you to give me a bit of a... Actually, use the ruler. Okay, so here is a 2.5 inch. Okay, so we've got 2.5 inch in there. Okay, now these ones around here are 1.5 inch strip. So this will be the next one on here, and it's at 1.5. Right? I'm trying to do a 5 backwards, not working. Okay, 1.5, and because this is 2.5 inch here, it'll have to be the 1.5 inch strip by 2.5. Yeah, that's not working. See if I can do it this way. 2.5. Okay, so 1.5 by 2.5 in there. So then the next one, when it comes on, right? Where are we going? This way. This one's working opposite. Late again, but we'll go back and watch it. That's all right, Jenny. I'm not that far. You're right. Okay, so we've put this one on. So the next one's going to be across here. So literally, we've got to add this piece and this piece. Okay, here's an easy way. Think of it this way. You've got a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch. That is 4 inches. Okay? Whatever the two pieces you've put together, that's 4 inches minus the 1/2 inch seam. So minus the 1/2 inch seam. So this piece has to be 3.5 inches long. Okay? So then when we work around to the next one, this one here, again, it will be 3.5. You'll always get two the same size because you're working around. So this one will be 3.5 again. Okay, because you only got the 2.5 and 1.5. But when we get round to here, I now have a 2.5, a 1.5, and a 1.5. So there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 inches across. We've got two seams. So 2.5 inches is 1 inch. So 5.5 minus 1 inch will give me a 4.5 inch. So I need to cut that piece at 4.5. Is that helping, Di? All right, so I'll go around again. Of course, this one, we're still the same. Is it where I'm going around? Yeah. So this one's still the same. So this will be your 4.5 inch again. Right? Then when I turn to here, I've got the ruler behind it because I can lean against it. We're now going to be adding 1.5. This one is your 3.5 and a 1.5. So 1.5 and 1.5 is 3 and 3.5 is 6.5. I still have one seam here and one seam here. So I'm going to minus an inch of 6.5. Right? So yeah, 6.5 off an inch. So this one now has to be 5.5 inches. All right, they're all 1.5 inch width. So this is just the length you're looking at. So 5.5. Yeah, okay, yeah, it will depend on what size. So, you know, like if obviously, like I did this one, won't write on it, okay? But this is all 2.5 inch pieces. So here's my 2.5 inch piece here, all right? So when I turned it to put the next piece on, which is 2.5 and 2.5, we've made this a 4.5. So then when I turn it to put the next piece on, that is 4.5 because it's only got the two. But when I go here, I now have, this is a bit hard because it's the same colour there, but I'm only joining, put on my chest, I'm only joining from 1, 2, 3. So 2.5 3 times, less 2 seams is 6.5. So you'll do 6.5 here, he'll be a 6.5, right? But when we get round to do this one, we now have a 2.5. That one was 4.5 and 2.5. So we got 5 and 4.5 is 9.5. less 2 of those, that needs to be cut at 8.5. Does that simplify it? Okay, so just remember that your seams are always a 1/2 inch that you have to take off for measurements, right? We've got 2 seams here, so it's easy. Take 1 inch off, whatever the original size of the strips were. Mathematical head, not a good English head, but a mathematical head. All right, so that's how you'd work that one out. Yeah, okay, now let's see what I can do. So there was the log cabin. If you missed Wednesday night So Trivia, you need to go back and watch it because we had some great fun, but there was lots of blocks. These are just the log cabin ones. All right, the other one that I was going to show you, remember when you go back to Quilt As You Go, when I did that one, I did this block because you can do these as Quilt As You Go. Woohoo! All right, so here's a Quilt As You Go, right? But this one's a courthouse steps. Remember we had that one, the courthouse step? And it works in a similar way. We're starting with that 2.5 in the middle, but what we're doing is putting one either side. So we've got a 2.5 inch strip either side. Here's the maths again, 3 2.5 inches, less 2 seams will give me 6.5. So I've then joined these 2 on at 6.5. These 2 will be 6.5 because I'm going across here. And then when you're measuring up for this one across here, we have now got 6.5, 2.5 and 2.5. So we're up to 11.5. And we've got 2 seams, so that needs to come down to 10.5. Are we all with me? Love my maths. All right, so that one is a Quilt As You Go, and as you can see, we've quilted that one nicely. Watch that video to show how to get that nice quilting on the back, all right, as you do it. So you can do the log cabins as a Quilt As You Go. Now, I did show you a 1.5 inch one there before. This is the one I got as well. That's your pineapple quilt. Oh, love that. Now, I did one before where I was showing you the sample with 1.5. Thanks, Dizzy. Glad you're with me. Okay, so with the 1.5. Now, years ago, and I haven't got it anymore because I sold quilt and it was a long time ago, I did one side with 2.5 and one side with 1.5. And it looked really amazing. But I thought I'd just print one out so you can see it. So this is a 2.5 inch side, and these are 1.5 inch. And when I turn the blocks so all the 1.5 inches together, you get that pattern. It's pretty cool. It would take me a long time to find the photo. I might see if I can find the photo of the one I made. And it will be, it's a long time ago, but it was done with dots. I actually called it licorice. A curved log cabin, it sure does. It gives you that curve in there. Love your work, Karen. No vouchers tonight. Sorry, not quizzer. Yeah, but it does. It gives you a curved look in it as well when you do a smaller side and a larger size. All right, so log cabin, and can you imagine that with the little pineapple bits in it? Just do it on the side in between. So what you do, see the brain's going. So when you do these, right, little corners, just do them where the 2.5 and 1.5 is. Don't do them on these sides. Just do them here. So then you'll have like the triangles coming out from it. So there's another go. Oh, Karen's onto it. She is, Joanne. She definitely is. So yeah, so that one is a log cabin, but with 2 different sizes. Now, don't forget, I have lots of 1.5 inch strips in there. Okay, so we've got 1.5 inch strips. Black and white ones, there's still quite a few of those. How many sides would you normally do a block? Die. How long's a piece of string? It doesn't, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. Like this one I've stopped where you've got, I always count the middle, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 rows out. On this one, when I made it this afternoon, we've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that makes a bigger block. At the 2.5 inch, we're looking at 14.5 inch block. Okay, so it will depend on what size block you want to make, as to how many rows you want to put around. It's a great fun quilt. All right. Here's the one that I did many years ago. It's not going to be hard to hold up. But as you guys know, I love miniatures. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 out. So you've got about 16 pieces of fabric in it, and it ends up being 1.5 inches big. But that's a log cabin that I've quilted and put on a key ring. All right, so that one is paper pieced. We might do something on one of those one day. I've got to find my paper piecings and everything again because it's been many, many years. There's a little heart one that I did as well. All right, as a when I had a life. I don't have a life anymore. And now I can't do those. But I can. I'll show you. I'll work those out. So, hey, any more questions on log cabin? Have we got anything? You know, traditionally, yeah, they start with red in the middle, but that's okay. I do too, Karen. I love paper piecing. Love the minis. Yes, April. I started and used to teach a lot of miniatures, like even like table runners, stained glassy ones and everything. Mainly because I didn't like quilting and rolling the big quilts up and put them through the machine. Back then, didn't have the machines I have now. So yeah, and with all the pre-cuts, all right, they end up being a little bit bigger, but I will get onto the miniatures. That is something that I'm working on. With eCraft, I'll be doing a lot more sort of tutorial sort of videos. Okay, so these ones are great. These are great information ones, quick and easy ones. I'll do some more in-depth ones that I will be putting on my YouTube channel, of course, and it'll also go through eCraft with their tutorials, totally free for you all to watch. Okay, so that is the log cabin. Is there anything else? Now, what other? Obviously, we're all interested in paper piecing, so I will get that. What's the difference between the way and this way and paper piecing? Just preference. Carol, just one moment. I will grab. I have got up here. Where did I throw them? I did because I found them in my here they are. Okay, so this is a paper piecing piece. Oh, got a bit of paper here. Okay, so the way I've just done it is pieced. Okay, so you're just piecing bits of fabric together. This is a pattern that is printed for paper piecing. Yes, it is a log cabin. No, I wasn't doing it tonight. Okay, so what you will do, I'll have to go through it and teach you that one. But it's all numbered and you actually sew on the paper. Okay, you can use glue. I never use glue. Carol, it can be fiddly, but once you get the knack of the paper, oh boy, there's no more scraps in the bin. You will use every little bit there is. All right, so that's a bit of paper piecing or foundation piecing. Okay, and that's how you do that when we talk about paper piecing. All right, so piecing is just putting your fabrics like we got. I got trippers behind me tonight, ladies. Thought I'd change up the back scenery. We got the tripper in the black and white and red, and we got the tripper with the lovely kids prints on it. So that's there as they're all there. Definitely, there's lots of kits on there for tripper. Now I will be away, looking like about 4 days at the moment. Does paper piecing dull your needle quicker? No, you use not really, because you use a fine point needle. Okay, and with the paper, you use a finer paper. All right, you can use just your normal A4. If you can get a less GSM, that's great. All right, if you can get about a 440 or 50 GSM, it's a little bit thinner. It can dull your needle, but if you watch my hints tips one, you do know you should change your needle every 8 hours. Okay, every 8 hours of sewing, you should change your needle. All right, and keep your machines cleaned and oiled. Okay, but you can get, you know, your sharp needles, the sharp ones. All right, I just still use the standard 80-14 ones or 90-12s, 80-12s, 90-14s. I use those in there because I do get rid of them pretty quick. And what you will do with the paper piecing as well is you actually bring your stitch length closer. So normally when you're piecing these, you're between the 2.5 in a stitch length. I bring it down even smaller because when you've got a smaller stitch length, the paper rips off a lot easier. This was done 25 years ago. If this had a little date on it, it'd be amazing. These were all printed about 20-25 years ago when I did it. I still have them because I love them, but I haven't got back to them yet. These days, I'm pretty sure they've got things out that wash out and everything, but paper piecing is great because you print it out through your printer, okay, and then you can just make them up from there. All right, there's lots of different tools and everything out there now. Me, and as you guys know, I don't use a lot of tools. I just, I have EQ8 that can print these out for me. I might even, you know, when I do eventually get it, I'll have some that I can send you when you get a pack. All right, so you will actually have the paper piecing, and you keep the stitches tinier. So as you do it, once you finish, you can then just rip it out. So you can imagine when I was doing this one, yeah, I've ripped the paper out of that one. All right, you just get your unpicker and my practice tool, and I'll rip the paper out of it. That's actually got wadding in it and all. All right, that little key ring. So that is a little tip on paper piecing as well. All right, ladies, I will say goodnight. Is there any more questions? Throw them through as we're saying goodnight. Otherwise, watch me on Wednesday. Special guest. I will have a special guest. I've already teed her up. I'm landing on her doorstep on Wednesday afternoon, and we'll be doing the live from her house. I'm not going to tell you where. It's just going to be a surprise, but you will love it. Buzz Yellow, yes. Karen, definitely. Haven't done one of those. Not one of my faves, but we can look into it. Oh, you're all coming through. Here we go. So, yeah, I will drive safe. I love driving, Julie, as you all know. Did you get your heater? No, I didn't, Helen. They didn't actually have any nice ones, so I didn't get one. So it's under the quilts again. It's still lots under all my quilts that I make. See you later, Di. See you, Zena. See you, Joanne. Another entertaining information eating. Thank you so much on that one, Karen. Dizzy, thanks a lot. Yes, safe travels, I will. You'll see me Wednesday night, don't worry. Yes, I am taking the winter woolies, definitely. I've got my polar fleece jammy pants. Night, Wendy. Night, Joanne. Anne-Marie. That's all right, Anne-Marie. Thank you. We'll see you Wednesday. April, hope you had a great time. See you later. Bye, Anna. Dizzy, don't forget. Oh, Glenette, there's another one. That's okay. Don't forget to invite friends. We need lots more people joining us in. We're growing the group amazingly, and we're having a great time. So thanks, Sue. Don't forget, shoot me through any of your sharing time ones. I don't care how old. And that was what we had the other day. We had a log cabin come through. So there you go. And any of you, it doesn't have to be my patterns, doesn't have to be my fabric. Just share anything that you've just recently done or something that you're proud of that you've done in the past. Okay, so everyone, good night. Happy sewing. Don't forget, bindishq.com.au is the website. You can actually do the 3 S's, subscribe to the YouTube channel, stalk me on Facebook or Instagram, and then you can actually share the posts and check out eCraft. Jake and I are very proud of that eCraft, and we're building it really well. So thank you all again. Night, Carol. Rewatch Wednesday on Thursday. Of course you can. Night, Helen. See you later. All have a great week, and I will be with you Wednesday for Treasure Hunt Wednesday and with a special guest. So thanks a lot, everyone. See you later. Stay safe and happy sewing. Bye.